Hi, I'm Mike with the School of Self-Reliance, and today we're going to talk about why you don't need to baton wood with a knife, why you don't need to split wood with a knife. Now, I made this in about 5 minutes. No big deal. You can just shave it down with your knife, use a knife for what it was meant for, a cutting tool. You know, to cut that down. It's a piece of hardwood, not really quite sure what wood it is, but it's a hardwood. Got a couple other pieces of wood here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to prove to you there's absolutely no reason for you to baton and split wood with a knife. And too many people out there, you know, the batoners, aka knife beaters, you know, I'm going to get the old wife beater t-shirts, I'm going to get those made up with knife beater on it. And maybe we'll get some legislation going to get it included in the domestic violence clauses of the law. But, you know, you start with a notch. That'd be good enough. Or you can cut a notch with your saw. And I mean, you might have to hold on to it just a little. Doesn't have to be super deep. Just has to be something, you know, maybe 1/4 of an inch thick, or 1/4 of an inch deep, I'm sorry. Maybe a little less. And it should go all the way across the piece of wood. Now, Lynn Thompson over at Cold Steel has been talking and recommending to people for years that they don't split wood with their knives. And he has for years been saying that this is the preferred method of wood splitting. The original Randall Knife Company, and I don't mean Esee with Mike Perrin and Jeff Randall, but the Esee Knife Company, or excuse me, the Randall Knife Company, the old Handmade Knife Company, they talked about this 30 years ago. And it's in several survival manuals from way back in the day. And there's absolutely no reason to hazard your primary survival tool at all for wood splitting. Absolutely no reason. Now, grab our beating stick. One split piece of wood. Now some guys, you see, it didn't really damage it. Didn't really damage that at all. And I know there's going to be the guy who says, well, yeah, but you can't, you know, shave it up into fine kindling that way. That's not true. You know, at this point, I would say you could use your knife for this, but why? Why bother? Why risk your primary tool? Small kindling. And I can do this whole piece like that. I can do as many pieces as I want all day long. And in that time period, I've never hazarded this tool. I've never abused this tool. All these guys who sit and talk about what a useful skill this is, useful skill in beating your knife with a giant club. That's a skill. Realizing how to properly use your equipment and not abuse it, that's a skill. Learning how to make a wedge and split wood with it, that's a skill. Beating your knife like some Neolithic caveman is not a skill. I don't care who told you different, they're wrong. And if you do need to split wood and you say, oh, I got to get down to the dry center because it's wet, okay, you just split it. Get down to the dry center. You know, there's another curious thing. You want to get down to that dry wood in the center, you know, there's a little ring of it on the outside. It's the strangest thing. But these things cut. I know that's going to come as a shock to everybody, but you could hack off that wet. And this isn't wet, but you could hack off the wet. You could cut it off with the knife. You can do all your splitting right down to fine kindling. You do it with this. That took 5 minutes. 5 minutes to make, less actually. You know, and the easiest way to make it is, you know, hack it out into a wedge. And one of the reasons why it's so effective is look at the size of that wedge. Think about that. As soon as it gets down in there, it starts putting so much pressure on that wood that it's going to make it come apart. A whole lot better than that, you know, and no matter how strong your knife is, why? All you do is chance breaking it. That's the only thing you do. If you go to any channel, or excuse me, if you take any brand of knife, good knife, whatever, and you type in that brand and model failure on YouTube, anywhere that you go, 99.9% of all the failures, whether it's a Becker, whether it's a cold steel, doesn't matter. 99% of all the failures you find on YouTube are from beating that knife with a giant club. And they're there because these knives, when you send them through wood, if it's nice wood like this, yeah, that's one thing. But see that knot? See where that knot was? Now look, here's the other side of it. That great big bulbous thing. If your blade would have went down through that, or let's say you came from this side, your blade is going to have to bend around it. It's also going to have to bend like this. So it's bending in two different directions at the same time, putting the knife under tremendous strain, and then you go and strike it. And here's the thing, even though you try to strike straight down, you don't always hit straight down. Sometimes it pulls back, or you put force forward, you know, going in that direction. So that's a third stressor on that knife. And then everybody gets upset when the knife fails. They say, oh, look at that, it's a bad knife, it's a bad heat treat. No, it's an end user who didn't have any skills and substitute it with brute force. And the people that tell you it's a valuable skill, they're wrong. And I just proved it. You don't have to do that. It's safer, and here's the thing, I don't care about this. If I break it, I'll make another. I hear people say all the time, oh man, that clip point, it chewed up my baton. The woods is full of batons, who cares? Woods is full of this, who cares? Make another one. It takes 5 minutes, no big deal. And it didn't cost, this here didn't cost $100. You didn't hazard a $100 piece of equipment. And I'm not saying the knife isn't strong enough to take it. Sometimes it is, and heck, more often than not, it is. But the idea is, there's no skill in that. There's skill in what I just showed you. And here's the thing. It's become almost a sacrament of the bushcraft community, almost some kind of holy sacrament, that you must learn to abuse your equipment in the field, that you must beat your knife to death. It's that way with everybody. That's just stupid. This makes sense, okay? Beating your knife doesn't. Just doesn't. You know, rappers, when they're done and they've made a point and they prove their point, they drop their mic. Alright guys, hey, I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you like what we do, like our videos, watch our videos, share our videos, help us out on Patreon so that we can bring you more videos, okay, and get better camera equipment. And I really appreciate you guys, and I mean that a lot. All the views that we get, all the folks that stick around, and all the people that support the channel. I really appreciate it. Again, I'm Mike from the School of Self-Reliance. Thanks for watching.